you your presenters for today. So we've got Nielsen Bain, who's a freshman in chemical engineering, hopefully chemical engineering soon.
Good.
Kelly Crabtree is a sophomore in English with a minor in Spanish. And then Maggie Aris is a freshman in mathematics. So these folks have been trained in everything that you need to know about cover letters. They put together a great presentation for you. So I hope you enjoy, be active, take part, and you'll learn a lot. All yours.
Hey guys, welcome to lunch. How's everyone doing? Good. It's a Monday, so starting off pretty bright with lunch. So good for you guys for being here. We really appreciate your presence. Like she said, my name is Kelly Crabtree. I'm a sophomore in English with concentration in English. And I've been a career ambassador for 2 semesters.
My name is Nielsen Bain. I'm a freshman. I'm hopefully going to code into chemical engineering this semester. And this is my first year as a career ambassador, and this is my first launch, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
I'm Maggie Avis, and this is also my first semester as a career ambassador, and this is also my first launch, so this should be interesting for all of us. But yeah, hopefully you learn a lot about cover letters.
The Career Development Center is a great resource for those of you starting on your journey as a professional.
Alright, so to get everyone kind of up and moving, we want to kind of start off with an activity. Pair up with the person beside you and just kind of ask them these questions. These are questions that will help you kind of get those juices flowing when writing cover letters. So just turn to the person next to you, introduce yourself, and ask them these questions.
It seems like everyone has a partner in the talking phone.
up and kind of everyone introduce each other. Now we're going to dive into this and talk about cover letters.
So today we'll be doing three things with everyone. We'll be showing you how to effectively structure a cover letter. We'll be showing you how to format a cover letter, and we'll be explaining that to you. That includes the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And lastly, we'll be going over how to properly use and form a thank you letter.
Alright, so in a job search, there are two things that you have control of. Your attitude, always remember you stay positive, and how you look on paper with your documents, such as your resume, your cover letter. And those you really want to convey a sense of professionalism and give the idea that you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking for. Employers will really admire that. So it's important to go over these, get them critiqued, and using stuff like mock quiz is a really good tool for that.
Alright, so before you even start writing it, you want to make sure to do your research. 3 things you want to research, first being the job. You want to know what skills the company is looking for. So you might have heard that information from a representative you met or the job description. Using this information, you can design and shape your cover letter to kind of match what they're looking for in the job, using examples through experience and stuff like that. The next is you want to research the company or organization. This will help you kind of design and present yourself in the way the company is looking for. Because it's not only are you qualified, but it's also your personality. So the cover letter is your first impression for the company. So you want to make sure their culture, their mission statement, and kind of relate yourself to them. Because you're also selling yourself to the job, but also the company, because they're looking for someone who's a good fit for them as well. Third is you want to research yourself. What are your strengths? What are you good at? Stuff you want to highlight in your cover letters. You can do this by asking a mentor or a friend who really knows you to kind of say, like, what about me stands out? And then use this in your cover letter to really highlight the best parts of yourself, what you have to offer. Okay?
And so today we're covering the purpose of a cover letter. And so a cover letter really lets your employer know that you're really enthusiastic and passionate about the job that you're going towards. And that passion is what's going to set you aside from the different candidates that are applying for the same position as you. And so, like Maggie said, drawing from the job description and the job application, you need to tailor your resume and tailor your cover letter to suit the job that you're applying for.
So your cover letter should have a clear structure. So how many people watched Barney? At least saw one episode and never really will. Yeah, most people in the room. So you guys know the song. So the introduction, there's going to be 3 paragraphs. And the introduction is, I love you. Why are you looking for this job? Why do you want this job? What do you like about the company? Things like that. Why do you love them? The body is you love me. So you're going to be selling yourself here. You're going to be talking about past experiences. You're going to be drawing transferable skills from them, which we'll talk about later. Explaining what makes you a qualified candidate. And then in the conclusion, let's get together. You're just reiterating your strengths, reiterating what you're looking for, talking about what makes you stand out from other candidates. And you're going to make sure you give your contact information again so they can get in touch. Just you really want to jump off the page.
Alright, so to go in more depth, the introduction is I love you. And this is where you get to talk about how did you find them. So did you meet a representative? And you also, if you did, you want to mention who you met. You also want to talk about why you want this position, what drove you to it. This should be a short statement. Again, this introduction is only 2 to 5 sentences. So why you want this job is just kind of a brief thing of kind of what drew you to it. And then, the last one is very important. So right here, our consultant, Sarah Lane, pointed out to us that most cover letters have very generic reasons of why you like the company. So it's important for you to be very specific about why you like them. Not just a generic statement such as blank company is a global leader in plant science. Instead of that, you could say something like blank company gave 50% of their income in the last 5 years to ensure that they stayed global leaders in plant science. This makes you stand out, and it also shows you're very professional and well prepared for this position. So last, just to emphasize that again, make sure you use specific details about why you like the company to stand out, really separate yourself from the pack. And doing all of this will help you grab their attention right off the bat.
So for your body paragraph, you're going to be selling yourself. So you're going to want to make sure you draw from experience and use specific examples to draw on your qualifications. Like Maggie said, you can quantify your experience, back up. You really want to back up what you're saying. If you say that you're a hard worker, then you want to be able to prove that. You want to be able to show how many hours you work, what some of your responsibilities were, how you balance that with school, especially as a student. And you're going to want to tailor the job description. So you're going to want to make sure that you're drawing from experiences that are relevant to what job that you are writing this cover letter for. You're going to make sure that you're using relevant experience, relevant transferable skills, and you'd be surprised by even jobs that you have as a student, even your minimum wage jobs working as cashiers, working as camp counselors. You really will be shocked by how many of those skills that you learned there will transfer over and how many you can include in your cover letters. Make sure that you're concise, because you're trying to fit this cover letter to one page. You want to be conscious of the employer's time. They're taking the time to deliver your cover letter and a bunch of others. So not being too worried. And you're going to want to use your action verbs. For those of you who have career guides, they are on page 30, and you can always pick them up if you don't have them. We have a bunch of the CDC bulletin halls, so you're welcome to put those up there if you have any. And essentially just remember to convey why the employer should hire you specifically.
Alright, so kind of reiterate that we want to draw from experience. Just to go over that, your cover letter should match your resume, and that's kind of mentioning experience you obviously say in your resume, but also the format. So the stock you put your resume on should be the same as your cover letter, same as font and style. And then, as we said, use action words. And then now we're going to do a little activity to kind of show you what you can do with general jobs that you might have had. So right here, we've listed some jobs that most people have come in contact with or done, and show you that you can draw transferable skills from these jobs. So for the first one is cashier, instead of saying work the cash register at a local fast food chain, you could say represented the company through good customer service and dealt with $1,000 in sales on a daily basis. This helps you show that you took responsibility for customer service, and you also quantified, which is another great thing, is to quantify skills and data. So by saying it like that, you show that you're a professional, that this job helped you get this other job, and that your skills transfer. So we have Candy here to bribe you to answer. And so for camp counselor, that's a short description, but what are some skills you could take from that?
If you guys want to take a moment and talk to the person next to you just to brainstorm, you can feel free to do that.
And just kind of go with those action verbs and what skills would be transferable, just jobs in general, okay?
And this candy involves if that means anything.
Lots of candy. Lots of candy.
Right, go ahead.
Making the sound roll. Okay. Alright.
Take more
well, well, you have leadership skills, to like meetings, and everything up. counselor. You're responsible yeah, more positive work environment. Sure, customers were happy. Dealt with, you know, everybody, everybody today. Stuff like that. Bigger was just quality control on the food, making sure the food coming out is good.
Alrighty, just to regroup, so what are some phrases or words y'all talked about for camp council? We'll start with that one. There.
A lot of that has to do with like leadership and
Yeah, that's great, awesome. So you're definitely leading kids and organizing stuff. One thing that I talked to someone about is quantifying that. So saying like how many kids you dealt with, such as leading kids in activities, leading 30 kids in activities ages from 6 to 12. Just to reiterate, quantifying data and really making that stand out, show your responsibility. For waitress or waiter, any ideas for that?
Cooperated with the two coworkers to keep things organized under high traffic hours. Like Sunday when high cooperation skills under stress and able to communicate well.
All right, that's perfect. That's awesome. Really making sure we're using those action verbs to just say like how important your responsibility and what kind of you took on with this job. That's awesome. Any other suggestions?
Multitasking in public relations over a long or extensive period of time.
Yep, another great one. That's perfect.
We want dark chocolate at the same time.
Big five.
Good job.
Alrighty, so our last one, newspaper delivery. Seems maybe a little bit more trickier than this. Any suggestions for this one?
Like implemented time management and like I had something going. So like talking about like time management and timeliness and orderliness and like so I can't figure out the correct.
No, that's a great start to it. No, that's a really good start. Did you have any of
Based off of what you said, like time management skills along with being able to be the team players to represent other people and then like being able to really skills to manage people
Excellent, excellent. All great ideas. And just to kind of summarize, those key skills you want to kind of highlight is leadership, communication, teamwork, all skills basically all companies are looking for. So you can't really go wrong with that. Alrighty, that's great job, guys. Perfect.
And so the body is the most important paragraph in the cover letter. 4 paragraphs, you decide to split it up, which is generally what you want to do because employers don't always like to see all of information on the cover letter. And so you want your resume and your cover letter to correlate with one another. And so you need to take key qualifications from your resume and elaborate and expand upon them using action verbs, which you can find on page 30 of the career guide, or the STAR method to elaborate upon it. And so the STAR method includes taking the situation that you're in, for example, working the cashier, and the task that was given to you, which is basically managing the money, and describing that using action verbs. and then taking the results that you gain from that, like Maggie said, like dealing with thousands of dollars in sales every day, and ending that explanation for that situation.
That's another great point, because you definitely want to end, in any experience you mentioned, you want to really focus on the results you had. So it's great to talk about kind of what you did, but just saying the success you had from it, what you gained from it, what the program you worked for accomplished because of those. So really being results oriented is very, very good for cover letters.
And going off that, a well-written body paragraph restates your resume, but does not regurgitate it exactly, like the same format and the same wording. But at the same time, if it's well written, you can show your employer that you can communicate well, and it also increases the chances of you like getting a follow-up or landing an interview.
All right, so for your conclusion, for those of you in writing intensive majors, those of you who, I'm sure all of you have written essays, the point of the conclusion paragraph is just to reiterate what else was stated. You're going to thank the employer for their time and their consideration, because again, they have a lot of candidates who are looking over a lot of different cover letters. It's good to make sure that you are polite and cordial. You're going to reiterate your qualifications for the job, go look over the main ideas, and include your contact information so they can get in touch with you. Putting your contact information in there and going to be noticeable it helps them out a lot in reaching back out to you. So, yeah, anything good for that?
I think you covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think you did a good job myself too.
Alright, so this is just kind of going back over the formatting for it. It's kind of the same for a resume. So you want to make sure your contact information is at top. So just saying your address, email, maybe your LinkedIn profile, so that they can get in contact with you. And then also make sure, a lot of people forget about this, but your signature should be at the bottom. You should leave a space in between kind of your sign off, like sincerely or something like that. And then space in between you printing your name, so you can sign it in between those two. Font, obviously you keep 10 to 12. You also don't want a crazy font for it in general. Kind of stick to Times New Roman or something like that. Still representing yourself very professional through the style of it. Some people say one page is recommended, but it's actually crucial you stick to one page, just because it's kind of disrespectful to the employer's time if you make them read 2 pages and then go into your resume. So just make sure you stick to that 1-page requirement. And then also save as PDF so you can tailor it to each job. One great advice I got is having a master format for cover letters and resumes. So you can kind of use that to go back in, change things through each company you send it out to, because you want to make sure you keep improving upon that, adding to it through experience you gain, and changing it with each company you go.
And so here we have an example of a cover letter and a resume side by side. And so essentially what you want to do is pair the formatting of your cover letter and your resume so that they match each other for several reasons. One, just in case your cover letter or your resume gets lost in the employer's holding, they can match it to one another because of the same formatting. And 2, it also just looks more professional that way. And so here you can see an example we have here. Jane somebody also has her mailing address and her phone number and her email all in the heading. And it's the same with the resume over here.
So for your heading format, you're going to want to put your contact information at the top, then the date, full date, month, date, and year, and then the person's contact information. It's really good to include their title and be specific as to who you're addressing if you are able to do so. It's a lot more personal to say, for example, Ray White, as opposed to whom it may concern. And it also shows that you did research into the company and you would be looking over your documents, which is impressive. And then being cordial when you start off, saying, dear Ms. White, as opposed to, you see our cartoon character over here saying, hey, you gorgeous, thank you. That might be flattering, but definitely not appropriate on a professional document. So, and also, probably not rude. So, keep that in mind. Just be professional and make sure your format is correct.
know who you're addressing, like the person who might be reading this, really try to go through your research and find out who. Maybe if you went to a career fair and talked to a representative, get in contact with them and say, who should I be sending this to, who should I be addressing, because it just shows a level of professionalism when you address them directly. Alright, so here are just some things to remember. We've kind of gone over a lot, but again, one page, keep it concise, be respectful of their time because they are going through a lot. Tailor it, as I said, make a master so you can exchange things, information, add on to it. Use specific examples with everything. You want to use action verbs, you want to quantify it. Present yourself as professional as possible and really show how you are fitting for this job, how you're qualified. And by doing the experience and specific examples, you also show your personality, kind of your work ethic, what you're going to, what your goal, and how it matches up with the company. And then save and send, again, PDF file so you can change it. And then also correct grammar and spelling. I know that seems like kind of an obvious thing, but so many little mistakes slip through. That's why it's so important to get your cover letter and resume looked over by a friend, mentor. In fact, the Career Development Center has hours, walk-in hours that you can go in, get it looked over. Someone in the Career Development Center will sit down with you, go like word for word through it with you, so make sure you're going to get that checked out before you can send it out. It's a great resource you have here, and it's included in your tuition, so you might as well use it.
Right, and there's definitely some things that can fall through the cracks if you just rely on the spell check. We went over this in one of my English classes. If you use the wrong word, sometimes when you misspell something, spell check doesn't catch it because it's another word. It doesn't make any sense to have like random words inserted. So just keep that in mind, not to just rely on spell check, because it won't pick up on everything.
You know, funny story about that. I was talking to a professor, and she received a cover letter from a student. And instead of saying public, whenever she talked about public, it said pubic instead. And so every single line that talked about public, it said pubic instead. And she sent that in to her teacher for reviewing before she sent that off to her employer. And so she definitely wanted to use the CDC's resources and look over that.
Alright, so here's just a bad example of what not to do. Again, we're going to kind of call on people to see what the error is. Take a minute to read through it and kind of use the skills we've talked about. Again, this is an actual cover letter. It may seem like a joke, but BusinessInsider.com, this is one of the 12 top worst cover letters sent me. So just anybody have a suggestion of what could have been fixed, what they should have done?
The word guess, period, that is not being decisive, like you should say, like, you should, if you're applying it for it, you should want the entrance of the job, not, guess I'm doing this.
Right.
You might take 5 of them chocolate and you thought.
Gotcha. You're good.
My problem with it is, why did the person write it in the box instead of putting it as an attachment? Like they wrote it in the spot where like you send a message, usually you send it as an attachment.
So another way is like a cover letter. It's surprising, but some people actually do get confused by that. Cover letter is not an email. It is a separate piece of paper that goes with your cover letters. That was another mistake this girl made by sending it with an email.